So here's a big issue that I have with a lot of the coaching that I see going on, especially in the men's coaching space. So let's say you're a dad, you've always struggled with overthinking, people pleasing, anxiety, burnout, and you decide that you want to make a change. You decide that now's the time that you're going to become somebody new. You're going to change your life, get in the most amazing shape you've ever been in, get that new job, start the business, earn more money, be that leader and that role model that you want to be for your son. And you go out there and you decide that you're just going to man up and make it happen. You're probably going to get told from a lot of coaches that you just need to think more positive. You need to just change your energy. You need to take crazy amounts of action, and you need to look in the mirror and you need to talk different and think different. Now, the problem is that's not necessarily wrong. That's not the issue. But the issue, my friend, is that's using the top layer of your brain, the neocortex and the prefrontal lobe. Perfect. Higher level thinking, that's what's going to make stuff happen. It allows us to, plan, think logical, and also dream big. But the real issue, and what a lot of these coaches don't understand, is that if the mid part of your brain, the limbic system, isn't set up to support that, it's going to work against you. So you're going to have two parts of your brain fighting against each other. It's going to be completely counterproductive. So the limbic part of your brain, the mid part of your brain, is the emotional part, and it's pretty much broken into three main areas. You've got the amygdala, which is just scanning for danger all the time, constantly looking out for threat, for danger, for things that could harm us. And its job is then to signal the reptilian part of the brain, which will keep us safe. The problem is that danger doesn't even need to be real. It just needs to perceive it as being danger. You've then got a part called the hippocampus. Now, the hippocampus stores emotion and memory, images. So that's job is to remind you of things that have happened in the past. Painful scenarios, good things you've done, bad things you've done, good experiences, bad experiences, and it brings up the memory of that and the image of that. And then you've got the hypothalamus, which releases the chemicals. So that's either going to be, it's going to signal to release stress chemicals, cortisol, or, the feel-good chemicals, serotonin, oxytocin. So the issue is, mate, if you just start trying to force yourself to be somebody new, or you just start trying to tell yourself that you're this new man and you're doing your affirmations and your self-talk and you're trying to just think positive, the amygdala is instantly just going to call bullshit on that, which is then going to signal the reptilian part of the brain that there's a potential threat. Something's not quite right. Something doesn't feel right. Now, the second that happens, the hippocampus is going to then start bringing up the emotion and the memory and the images of times where you've lied to yourself and got hurt. So maybe that was you took action, maybe you started the business and lost money, it didn't quite work out. Maybe you started the gym and stopped and beat yourself up for weeks on end. It could be anything. But it's going to start hijacking and bringing up those emotions and those images of all the times where you lied to yourself in the past and you got hurt for that. And then the hypothalamus is going to then start releasing or signalling to release those stress chemicals, that cortisol. This is when you start getting, high beta in terms of your brain waves, your anxiety goes through the roof, you stop, you start getting into this overthinking loop. And no matter what you do, no matter how hard you try and push, you just can't change it. So your job, my job, if we want to become somebody new, we want to make a habit stick, we want to get change in our life, we want to rewire ourselves and really become that man, that dad that we know we can be, we've got to get that top layer of the brain and the middle of the brain working together in harmony. So, rather than just trying to lie to yourself and trying to almost just fake it until you make it, understand this. The brain will always reject a lie. It will just reject it. The amygdala will do its job and it will know that you're absolutely bullshitting yourself. So rather than trying to lie to yourself, which isn't going to work, you give yourself a progressive truth. So rather than saying, I am ripped, I am jacked, I am a millionaire, I am a six-figure earner, if none of that's true, you replace it with a progressive truth, which is, I am the man, I am the kind of man that can build habits and start to maintain them. I am the kind of guy that can go to the gym 3 times a week for 20 minutes each time. I am the kind of man that can do a high intensity workout from home for 10 minutes. Like, you give it a progressive truth. I am the kind of man that's improving every single day. I am the kind of man that can start a business from scratch, even if I do it around what I'm currently doing. You're not bullshitting yourself, you're giving yourself progressive truths. Now, what that's going to do is get that mid part of the brain to support the higher part of the brain. Support it with images, support it with memories, and support it with the right chemicals. So, when you start talking to yourself with the self-talk, you do the progressive truth. But here's another thing, I do not want you even giving yourself a progressive truth until you've calmed the fuck down. This is where your breathing comes into play. So you're going to do your coherence breathing. 5 seconds in, 5 second exhale. And you want to do that for maybe a minute or two. But that's going to allow your limbic system, your amygdala part of the brain as well, to say, we're safe. This is safe. There's no harm here. So that your hippocampus can start bringing up memories and images of times where you did set a goal and it did work out. Or you have had small wins in your life. You know, you have had experiences that went in your favour. And then that's going to reinforce that progressive truth that you're saying to yourself. But that can only happen once you start to slow the heart rate down with your breathing, with that coherence breathing. So this isn't about fake it till you make it. This is about getting the top part of your layer and the mid part of your layer firing on all cylinders. So breath work, that coherence breathing, and then progressive truth with the self-talk. And then after that, you follow it up with an immediate action that person, that identity would do. So if it's identity of I want to get in phenomenal shape, you immediately follow it up with a workout. You immediately follow it up with maybe having a protein shake or eating a good quality meal with loads of protein, good fats, veg, whatever it is. Or, if it's a business, you take an action on starting the business. And that reinforces to the limbic system that memory of I'm the kind of person that takes action as well. Okay, so you breathe, progressive truth, immediately followed up with an action. That's a lot different from faking it till you make it, my friend.